It's times like these that I realize I might still be a little bit OCD. When I look at how I've laid out all the stuff for my trip, I have almost everything packed. I am contemplating this first aid kit. So coolies for pain, anything like sprained ankles. Yarrow stops bleeding for the main, that's really the main reason. Aseptic kills like any problem, bacterial infections, whatnot. Hilariously enough, the biggest thing I'm worried about is snake bites, foraging in the woods. I don't know why it's bothering me. So we have, this for that, this echinacea tincture, an extra bottle just in case. This is for stomach stuff. Activated charcoal pills. Need a quick remedy and you don't want to throw up for stomach bugs, this is my go-to. Cayenne also stops bleeding, but it's just a good pick-me-up and a blood pressure regulator. Stress away, although I don't think I'm gonna really need this. This is a flower essence remedy that I take every single day. This is one that is made just for me. And then lemon essential oil and lavender essential oil. And this one's I'm really excited to try. And the thing about being an herbalist is that you can't use them if you don't bring them. Really, really funny to me that I just put out a video on relaxing and resting. And I'm about to take this trip, which yes, is a work trip of sorts, but the primary purpose is for me to go rest and relax and like get rejuvenated. And I'm like, the number one question that keeps coming in my mind is, but what am I gonna do? In the core of who I am, I haven't not grasped this concept yet, apparently. I don't have a huge plan. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. I am trying to be a good girl, but that's my backup plan. I am really excited for this trip. I think it's going to be really great. Getting everything planned for it. I might as well make the absolute most out of every second. It is almost 11 o'clock. I'm leaving, I'm shooting to leave about 7:30 tomorrow morning, which means I'm going to be getting up at my normal time, 5. This new stage of life is very interesting to me. I don't think I've ever packed this much stuff for a trip before. 5 days. It's a lot of stuff. Camera gear, hiking stuff, regular stuff, swim stuff. Got everything I need, I think. What do you think, buddy?
Good.
Yeah. There is comfort in daily chores. And that homesteaders, farmers, ranchers around the world all wake up and they have relatively the same morning. They get up, have their warm drink, have their quiet time, and get out there and take care of their animals. And I think it is so amazing to know that we're all connected in such a simple task. Something like cutting grass for rabbits, collecting the eggs, moving the cows, harvesting the produce, or whatever it may be. I think it's a beautiful thing. One of the farmer's greatest tools is observation. We spent lots of time watching the cows, building the stockman's eye, making sure that everybody was getting what they needed. And the other is working out solutions, whether you do that on your own time or you do that with other people.
Her. Hey, sweetie.
She's still there.
She's still eating. Super tough.
I think it's the barley or
Yeah.
the rye or whatever. It's not really a grain, but
Yeah,
it's wild.
yeah. They had a couple cutting horses is what they had. So the barn.
This is like fun real farming. We have hiked all over this mountain today already. Super fun. And that's the kind of hiking, walking around, moving cows that makes you have a actual appetite, which is so fun. Probably the most food I've eaten in a while. So now we are getting ready to move goats. So we're gonna trim trees and put up electric fence and get the goats moved onto some different land. And I'm excited to see this because they have a solution for the posts to go in the ground, in the rocky ground. So that's going to be really great. And the goal is to get this done before it's hot out. It's already hot out. This is my kind of vacation. Working, putting up a fence, learning new skills. I love it. So this is where the goats were, compared to where they're about to go over here. So this fence is from a different company. It's not a Premier One fence, and so I'm excited to see. That has just the straight down spikes, and then this tool, which is what he was showing me earlier, makes it so that you can get the rocks out of the way, and that is really helpful. So it's always really fun to go to other people's farms and see what they're doing. Like, I do this for gardening as well, where you can just go check out other people's ideas, other people's systems. I feel like I'm learning so many things on this trip already, and I've only been here for a day, that I want to keep making notes of them mentally. So the first thing is I don't know if I should call it a chisel or a hand tool for driving the holes. That's such a huge game changer, especially when you're working, putting these fences up by yourself. Sure, there are the kids who get to help, but honestly, this tool makes that job a lot easier for the kids to be able to manage the fencing. Because our ground is so rocky, putting in the posts, even, just the short little spikes that you have to do is really challenging. And then another thing that I've noticed while I'm here is talking with Mike about using a weed burner on all the gravel paths. And do you know how much time that's going to save me? So right now, the biggest takeaway from this is how to save time. So for these guys, they have a side-by-side. This is a huge ranch where it's a ton of walking, a ton of hills, high elevation. And so really, while walking is very healthy for you, when you're doing the amount of chores, and we're talking the amount of space, you're running back and forth, and that just is a huge time suck. And on my farm right now, that's what I'm trying to change as well, is what can I do to automate different systems to bring things closer to the door so that I am not walking very far, because the less time you spend on that, the more time you can spend on actually making your farm be very productive. So far, those are the two things. Right now, I'm just sitting here. He is weed whacking the fence line for the electric fence. So he's using right now is a weed whacker with a metal blade on it. He said that the blade is strong enough that it can go through. This is awesome. Stuff like that. So, you know, good diameter, about an inch or so, which that's pretty crazy. And I have been talking with my mom about some of the things like that, and I think that we may have to get one of those for her, because that would just be awesome. I'm making sure that I'm standing back because that saw blade will just throw material pretty far. I mean, it's chopping up stuff like this rose. So I'm trying to stay out of that.
While we were only about halfway done with this fence project, the neighbors called and they needed help. These families stopped what they were doing, jumped right in, and off they went.
Friendly now.
Yes, I think he was friendly then. He just was mad about being in that trailer. That's what I think.
One of the funnest things about being here is watching everybody work together to do different things. So we strung out two sides of the electric fencing and realized that the fence was curved more. So Mike has to cut in, like with the brush cutter, a different line now. And the tomatoes in the garden need to be mulched. So while he's doing that, so instead of me sitting around, I am going to put some mulch on these tomatoes. You guys ready to move? We made a nice pen for you.
Fancy.
You might not think that hiking on a mountain, moving cattle, and putting up fences would be very restful and rejuvenating, but for me it was. I'm so thankful for each new thing that I learned, each experience that I had while I was here in this desert place.